One Day in May by Keith Wood. On August 13th, 1767, the following report was printed in the Derby Mercury newspaper. Last Saturday afternoon, the aphesis ended at Nottingham for the Right Hon, Lord Chief Baron Parker, and the Hon Mr. Justice Bathurst, when Robert Downes, a travelling pedlar from Eckington in Derbyshire, aged 52, was, after a very short trial, convicted of the barbarous killing of Thomas Greenwood at Mansfield the 16th of May last, for which he immediately received the sentence of death. He was accordingly executed at Nottingham on Monday morning, and was afterwards carried to be hung in the chains of the Forest of Sherwood near Mansfield, aforesaid, August 9th, 1767. Forward by Robert. The story of my life is going to be written for me by the Reverend Jeremiah, who has been my true friend these past 3 months whilst I have been in Nottingham gaol, accused of murder, which I did do. I have never learned to write proper, and as I shall soon be no more. Reverend Jeremiah says he will write down what I have told him so that people can read it as a warning to the other folk, not to do what I have done. I didn't mean to kill Thomas, but I did and know that I have to pay for it with my life. When I meet Thomas, I shall say I am sorry. My name is Robert. Everyone, except my mother, calls me Rob, and I have been told that I was born in Eckington around the year 1715. I am nobody of importance. I come from a very ordinary background, but I don't think I have done too badly to live to 52 years. Many people I have known have not lived that long, and if I lived any longer, I would probably catch some horrible disease and die in pain, as many of the people do. Times are bad, and when you are poor, no one really cares. A few people I have known have lived longer than I will, and I am still strong and fit, but I have done wrong, so I deserve to die. They tell me hanging is quick if you get a good hangman, but I don't believe them. Whoever reads the story about my life will know that it has not been special, but my friend Jeremiah says it should be told. I have lived without much money for most of my time. I cannot read or write, but many other people around here are the same as me. I have always been made to feel different from other people because I had a difficult birth, and to understand what I mean, you will need to read about my family's life before my trial, so that you can understand a bit more. Perhaps you will consider whether such the decision made yesterday, the day of my conviction, the 8th day of August 1767, was just, not that it will make any difference to me. But being with my friend whilst he writes helps me pass the time, what little there is of it left for me. In the time he has been visiting me, I have told him about my life, at least as much as I can remember, and now he says he will write the last chapter. Jeremiah says that my story has been told as a warning to others, so they won't do what I did in this wild border country. I have travelled around all my life and have only a few friends. I wish I could have had more, but not many people liked me. My mother taught me when I was young that it's wrong to kill, so when I did, I gave myself up to the constable and have to take what is coming to me. That of being hung by the neck until I am dead. I am terrified. After I die, I am told that my body will be left for the crows to feed upon, and then left for all to see as a reminder of what will happen to those who do murder in these times and get caught. My life is short now, and I am frightened, but there is little mercy for a man like me. I am a man from the poor class. When such a man does wrong, the punishment is an eye for an eye and a life for a life. It's as simple as that. That's all I can say. Jeremiah says he will finish this story later. He says I must make my peace with God now. August 1770. Reverend Jeremiah Baxter's foreword. I am the Reverend Jeremiah Baxter. My parish in Nottingham is one of the poorest and includes the gaol where the convicted spend their last days on this earth. I try to ease their pain and suffering. They have been charged with the heinous crime of murder and have received their sentence, which for a poor man is usually a foregone conclusion. They can't afford to have someone speak for them. They perish and few get their story told. I feel that Robert's story should be told so that others might heed the lesson of turning the other cheek. There are other lessons in this story that can be learned for those with an open mind. It is just 3 years since the poor wretch, Robert, left us sinners on this planet. I had been talking, but more often listening, to Robert ever since he was brought to Nottingham Gaol, accused of a murder which he freely admitted he was guilty of, and I feel that his story should be told. I am in no position to officially judge the people I try to comfort, but just occasionally I wonder whether the law is fairly administered in these harsh times of the 18th century, and hope that things will improve for the poor in future years. I shall leave you to judge the rights and wrongs in this case. I shall start by giving you an idea of what life in Eckington, the area where Robert was born in about 1715, and then run through his life as best as I can, from what he told me. The reader must decide whether murder can ever be justified, or whether there are circumstances, whether if not justified, other factors should be considered, where the penalty should perhaps be less harsh. Robert, everyone knew him as Rob, is believed to have been born in the village of Eckington, Derbyshire, in the border country near that county's boundary with Yorkshire. The area around this border country is bleak, particularly over the winter. Most of the land is black moorland, little more than wasteland. There are patches of better ground in the river valleys where crops are grown. Most people have to have more than one way of making a living to sustain themselves and their families. Many rent small holdings from the large landowners and barter with their excess produce in the harvest season for other goods. Many others still have to resort to more devious ways of living, risking their lives to survive, as the penalties for getting caught are high. Landowners in general do pretty well. They get licenses to dig for coal, which is more profitable than growing food. But for the poor, they know that you can't eat coal. The coal, as well as the food, is mainly brought and used locally or traded for other goods by bartering. Most of the land is unfenced and is jointly worked by a number of different families, who jointly rent from the rich landowners. Commodities are mainly transported on roads or trucks that are not good, particularly in wet times. There are often no more than muddy tracks. Even the excess goods that are made for sale by local merchants have to be transported by pack horses a long distance to the navigable River Trent, near Gainsborough or Bawtry, to be shipped on to the rest of the country or abroad. Villages like Eckington are really no more than a series of isolated farmsteads with poor houses built between them to form a cluster. Hamlets are just small clusters of houses, but the villages do have a central holy conducted in and around the church of the manor house. I have listened to Robert's words where he has outlined his adventures as a poor traveller. He has been frank, as only a poor man about to die can be. He has nothing more to lose. You will understand that as a preacher, and therefore a storyteller. I have had to piece what he told me together, which is why it has taken me 3 years to complete this manuscript. You cannot guarantee that I have given a full and accurate account of his life, but as you read on, you will get my interpretation of all that I remember he told me. I start by giving you the background of Rob's family before he was born, so that you can understand the world on which the subject of this story is based entered his mortal life.